Hello, today is the 20th of July 2024, and today is the night before the full moon, which will take place Pacific Daylight Time at 3:15 a.m. We're going to have the full moon, the second full moon of the month of Cancer, which happens once a year. But this moon, I'm an evolutionary astrologer. I just wanted to share quickly that I do a lot of readings that I combine intuition with the accuracy of astrology. Today's full moon is a powerhouse because we've got the moon in the 8th house, already giving it a Scorpio overlay, conjuncting Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, the moon being at 29 degrees, so that's 1 degree off the moon. So that makes it far more like a Scorpio moon. What is Scorpio about? Scorpio is about birth, death, renewal, betrayal, abandonment, loss, money, other people's money, all of this opposing the sun in Cancer at 29 degrees. So we have a very interesting configuration. It's a very Scorpio-laden planet, having that moon and Pluto in the 8th house conjuncting each other. So my take on that, intuitively, is that we are facing the populace versus populace being Pluto in Aquarius, conjuncting the moon in Capricorn, which represents large foundations, the government, power people, structures. So here we've been seeing for about 3 weeks in the United States, which is also very close to having its Pluto return once more. We're seeing a power play to take over the presidency and try to control it through money and through power conditions. And Aquarius, being the populace, is saying, no, we don't want that. We, the people, want what is. We have faith in who's there already. And what are we facing? The Pluto conjunct moon, the utmost sense of betrayal by the populace. Now, I find it very interesting today that the black women came out, 1,400 of them. That does not just mean 1,400 black women. These are women that lead large organizational structures, and they're saying you either go with leaving the ticket as it is and not touching Kamala or Joe, who we chose, or you lose democracy. That's literally been their message today. And the blacks are up in arms right now with good reason, because they always get their needs always get shunted. And this is, as we said, with the moon and Pluto, the power structures being smashed by Pluto through the populace. And it's interesting also that today is the very first day that I've received in my text messages a message saying, do you support Joe Biden? Would you support him still as your presidential nominee? So today of all days, when we're facing betrayal and a sense of the power play going on behind the scenes, which AOC clearly outlined, that's also interesting that would come up a couple of days before this full moon, that we are looking at the opposition of, do we continue with a nurturing, gentle, loving being, a water sign, king, king being the King of Cups in Tarot, or do we go with the power structures And do we allow them to, Scorpio has a very manipulative side to it, the lower aspect of Scorpio. So we're being asked really right now as a country to look at this whole situation, realizing the sun is in Cancer in the United States chart. Are we going to allow ourselves to be betrayed? Pluto on the moon. Very interesting. And the other thing that's going on is that we've got Saturn and Neptune retrograde with Pluto retrograde. So they're in a very slow moving state. And Saturn being up in the 9th house of spirituality and Neptune up there, you've got the karmic aspect of what's going on in our world right now. This is not just affecting you. It's not just affecting the United States. It's affecting the entire world. The decisions that are going to be made right now are for the entire world. How do I feel? Where do I feel it's going intuitively? I feel that the power structures, be they on the Republican side of sheer arrogance and ways of finding new ways of controlling Pluto, or on the Democratic side, letting the corporate money rule who's going to be the next person running for president. And I feel that those that have come forward against Biden are going to meet their own comeuppance in the next few days. I feel that tomorrow, whether Biden stays or not, they better not touch Kamala, because it's feeling to me that the blacks will just completely move away from the party. And they're the ones that saved Biden the last time, and I find it very interesting that they're stepping forward again. The black women, God bless them, they're strong as hell. I love them. And they're not afraid to speak out. And we need to have their courage and their capacity to express our own truth and not sit on the fence and just put checks and likes and hearts, but actually speak out personally on how we feel about this. I don't mind if you disagree with me. I don't mind if you prefer Kamala over Joe or what you prefer, but it's democracy on the line, and there it is right in the chart. Pluto conjunct the moon in Capricorn. Capricorn being the money structures, the government, the power behind the government, Pluto. So that's what's going on at that level. Then we have Mars still conjunct Uranus, 4-degree orb, in the 12th house. So this is, again, a lot going on behind the scenes, and a lot with Uranus there, a lot happening quickly. And all I can say is expect the unexpected. And with Mars and Gemini, too many people are talking. Mars and Gemini is inclined to run off at the mouth and just say whatever it wants. And with Uranus there, it's even more inclined to shoot out whatever nonsense is running through the brain, because Gemini is the talker, and Gemini is, they're wonderful communicators, but Mars does not sit well in Gemini because it's the ego expressing its own wants. And there it is, conjunct Uranus, just blasting nonsense. Behind the scenes in a 12th house, a lot of subterfuge and talk going on behind the scenes, but don't be surprised if that conversation doesn't change quickly with Uranus in there. The other planet we have in that 12th house behind the scenes during this full moon is Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini, which can be inclined to exaggerate. I hope I'm not exaggerating in this reading, but it's behind the scenes. So again, it's a capacity to exaggerate one's views. Jupiter being connected to our philosophies, our belief systems, and in Gemini talking a lot about those. And hopefully turning to a more spiritual level with all of it. The final thing is we have Gemini ascendant. So there's a lot of Gemini right now. There are 4 Gemini planets. So talk. And that's a media. And that is the media, Jupiter and Gemini, out of control. And let me see what else we've got here. Yeah, so we've got that Saturn and Neptune up in the 10th house. So there's a battle going on between what is our destiny, what is our fate, what is our karma right now with Saturn in Pisces. It's very karmic right now. And destiny ultimately rules, doesn't it? It's not our wants and our blethering that creates what happens. There is an element of destiny to it with all this stuff behind the scenes. Almost like I was saying to somebody today, look at Trump as the left hand of God. In other words, exposing, bringing to the surface all the hidden capacity that man has to betray himself. Because ultimately, when you betray others, you are betraying your own soul. We've got Neptune up there, so there's a lot of confusion, a lot of delusion, and a lot of Neptune in Pisces in the 10th house is how the world sees us, as very confused. And in a state of destiny, because whatever we choose as a country is what's going to be affecting the entire world. Not just ourselves, not just our country. So I find this to be a very powerful full moon, and with Mercury and Venus in Leo in the 3rd house of communication. A lot of grandiose words, a lot of grandiose ideas, a lot of ego in the words being spoken right now. And again, Leo being the king, fighting for rulership. So let's just light our candles and say a prayer, not for an outcome, that the right thing happens and that light is shone into the situations that we're facing right now, and that we hold to the center of our own light. Because I tell you, the more evolved we are right now, the more we move to our own spiritual presence, the less difficult it will be to get through these incredibly disruptive times. Thank you for tuning into my video. Most of all, say a good prayer and have mercy on all. Pray for all the leaders. And let's envisage a period entering of truth and new visions and hope and moving from fear to love. Thank you. And if you wish a reading with me, you can contact me at angelicmercy44@gmail.com. God be with you. Thank you.